Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another amazing episode on the Unleashing Potentials podcast. My name is Bernadette, and I'm your host. Today's special guest is Elizabeth. How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to my kids going back to school. Yeah, they call it fall break here. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always like a blessing when they're home because then I don't have to make school lunch every day with but then you're like, okay, go back now.
Yeah. Welcome. So, Elizabeth, can you tell us where you are? Where you're tuning in from?
I am based outside of Chicago, just about an hour. More, we moved out to sort of what we call the country. It's not really the country, but out more in the suburbs about a year
Nice.
ago.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. So, Elizabeth, can you start by telling us who you are and what you do?
I am Elizabeth Plancon, and I am an intuitive mentor, an activator, and healer, and also a best-selling author. I co-wrote a book with some other coaches called Manifesting with Purpose. And so I really, my purpose, my passion is helping others who are here to make an impact on this world light
Mhm.
up their gifts and their potential so they can do that, so they can make the impact that they are here to make and desire to make. And a lot of the times those people don't feel like they have the confidence to do that, or aren't really even sure what their gifts are or how they can help other people or what their purpose is. And
Mhm.
so I've kind of found my purpose in activating other people in so they can do that, and by helping raise the consciousness of this world, the more love that we give, the more support that we give, the better off that energy of the world is going to be.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really cool. So, would you say you were born open as a child?
I've always been intuitive, and I've always kind of known it. So yeah, I guess so, but I didn't really know until probably was in my teen years that I kind of was like more intuitive. And I didn't fully developed my spiritual gifts, my psychic gifts until about 2020, like actually had the time or the discipline to sit down and actually learn how to use them, right? And make a business out of it or use it to help other people.
That's awesome. Yeah, kind of good timing, I guess, when it was a pandemic, good and bad, because we had so much time on our hands.
Oh yeah. And
And
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's exactly what happened. It was kind of like I started to get this, you're home and you're bored and you're like, well, let me start reading a book or doing this. Then just my intuition started opening even more and was like, you're meant to do something else. And so I was like, well, might as well when I have the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, would you say you're a psychic, a medium, or just psychic?
I would say a psychic. I have not opened my mediumship fully. And as far as like what I consider a medium is someone who is connecting with, spirits or past loved ones.
Mhm.
But I am a channeler, so I channel
Mm,
spirit. I
yeah.
channel, whatever you want to call it, source messages for people that they need to hear. I just don't really know exactly like this message is coming from your guides, or this message
Yeah.
is coming from your higher self, whatever. It's just this is the
Mhm.
messages you need to hear right now, and I'm the open channel to deliver them.
Mhm.
So that's kind of like, and then just be I'm clairvoyant, clairaudient, but for me it's really more about being an open channel to deliver these messages to people.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
What was Halloween like for you?
So I'm not much of like a Halloween person where it's a big deal for me, right?
Mhm.
Because every day I'm kind of like in this energy and in
Yeah.
this channel and
Mhm.
being always spiritual. So I
Mhm.
know for some it's a very big where the veil is thinner and they feel more connected, but I feel connected every single day. So for
That's
me, it
awesome.
wasn't like it's not a special day,
Yeah.
except for my kids, right?
Yeah. Well, for me, the veil was too thin.
Oh,
It was
okay.
one of the worst nights I've had in
Oh,
this year.
no.
Yeah, it felt like my entire house was full of dead people. My bedroom, every time I closed my eyes, I would get flashes of visions, and they were so fast. Yeah. I don't like or celebrate Halloween, but I do it for my kids. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
a very, very intense time.
Do you ever do anything to like protect your energy or like close it off so they don't come and bother you?
I smudge, and
Hmm.
the next day, the night after, I slept really well. I smudge, I open the window, and I tell them to get out.
Yeah.
I don't know who
So
they are.
like
Yeah,
when I would just say in the future, like before Halloween, like that day of or the
yeah.
morning of or the day before,
Mhm,
like just set up your energetic boundaries. Imagine as if like this white bubble is showering over you and
yeah.
you're not open for messages. And then you can call in your spirit team and say,
Mhm,
angel spirits and guides, please protect me during this time. I do not wish to hear messages, seen things, whatever, it is. And really just, have those protection crystals around, maybe sleep with one next time under your
mhm,
pillow. So you're like really having that protection away from all of the entities, right?
mhm. Yeah, yeah. I sleep with pillows with crystals under my pillow, and then I hold two different ones in both hands. I've done it for 2 years now. It's weird, and I can't sleep without that. And I have them around my room, and I smudge, and I do everything right. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe they know that I'm open, or I don't know. I haven't discovered the power that they're seeing from where they are. I'm still
Yeah. I mean,
human flesh.
yeah.
I don't know.
I think they can definitely sense like who it has that capability or that gift and they just want to talk to that person.
Mm,
And it's but we basically have our own personal power to allow it in or not allow it in.
mhm,
It's a simple thing I read in a book one time too, is like imagining a light switch on your third eye and just like shutting it off. Or if it's like your ear is that you're hearing things, just shut off this light switch.
mhm.
There's so many different techniques you can do, right,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
kind of protect yourself. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it's kind of learning to embrace it without being scared of it, because this is a gift that
Yeah.
we were given and it is a gift. And
Mhm,
sometimes we just have to surrender to these gifts because we were chosen.
yeah.
And we also chose these gifts too, as before we came into this lifetime.
Mhm,
So, knowing
mhm,
that these were the lessons that we were going to learn or these were the things that we were going to be able to do. And
mhm.
sometimes because being an activator, being a spiritual mentor is not always the easiest job, right? It'd be a lot easier sometimes to go down the street and get a job, and just work, put
Yeah.
my head down and just work, right? But that's not what I'm here for. That's not my
Mm,
purpose.
yeah.
So by living in my purpose, I am choosing to embrace the gifts that have been given to me that I have chosen to help others. And again, it's not always the easiest thing to do, but it's
Yeah.
my purpose and I surrender to that.
Yeah, I surrendered all right. I had the dark night of the soul.
Yeah.
It was terrible. I felt like I was dying. I was alive, and I was hot. I was cold. I was terrified.
Oh,
Mm,
yeah. Do you
yeah,
have like a spiritual mentor or anyone that helps you through situations like that?
yeah, I have a friend. I've known her for I think 12, 13 years, and she's a psychic medium and many other stuff, and she helps me.
That's good.
She guides me. She doesn't give me the answer. She lets me
Right.
explore and find out things on my own.
Yeah. So I think it is maybe just learning to embrace it and looking at it a different perspective,
Mhm.
right? Instead of the negative stuff, try to look at it
Yeah.
in a positive way. Like, how can I use this to help myself or help other people?
Mhm. Yeah, how have you had to embrace your gifts like earlier on when it started?
Like I said, I don't think I really embraced them until just
Mhm,
recently when I started to have this feeling or this like pull to do something else that I was currently doing and
mhm,
I was supposed to do for the rest of my life. I was working with my mom and was supposed to take over her company.
mhm.
And I just was like, nope, like this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. And so it didn't really give me a choice to, embrace her or not. It was like, okay, now is the time. Like now is the time to embrace this. Let's get going and figure out what you want to do. And so that for me was exciting to be
Mhm.
able to find something that lit me up and that gave me purpose in my life that I had a passion for.
Yeah, that's awesome. I I've heard of the word intuitive. Is that from intuition, or is it the
Yeah.
same? It's the same thing, or
Yeah, it's the same
okay.
thing as psychic, it's just a different way of saying it. It's but basically your intuition is completely open or strong or
Mhm.
it's the same thing though as psychic for me at least.
Yeah, that's so cool. You're also an activator. What is that?
Mhm. So, yeah, I'm glad you asked. So I have, grown and developed my own modality of using my light language. And if you're not familiar with what light language is, or maybe your listeners aren't, it is a sacred language that, people sometimes have, or souls have from different lifetimes of not being originally from this planet, from Earth, also known as star seeds,
Yeah.
where we come from a different realm, a different place. And so it is this beautiful, for me, it's tones mostly, and vibrations of my voice where I can activate other souls, other people to do, open up gifts, to step into their purpose, to activate the ability for them to manifest their goals,
Yeah.
heal, do different healings with my activations, surrender, releasing, all different. I mean, pretty much it's like limitless. Like whatever my client needs is what I'm going to help activate within them through my light language, through my voice, through my vibrations.
Mhm. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I've heard of all of those light language star seeds. Do you know what star seeds you are?
I don't exactly. I haven't, gotten the clear answer yet of like, this is where you're from. So I don't know exactly because it's been lifetimes ago, like many, many, many lifetimes ago.
Yeah.
And that's like the beautiful thing when you discover this gift that you have and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm brand new to this. Like, what do I know? And all
Mhm.
these things, but really you've been doing them for lifetimes. You just haven't remembered. And now you're remembering, oh, I have this gift, I have this ability, and now I get to do it again in this lifetime.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the second vision I had was of my spirit guides. They were all sitting in circles and I was there. Obviously, they don't let me remember all of them who they are.
Mhm.
One of them was holding a toy dragon, like a wooden
Mm.
toy dragon.
Mhm.
And yeah, a year later, I find out that I'm a dragon.
Oh, one of your like original, like originating place is a dragon.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah.
Isn't there a book about that? Oh gosh, do you know
Oh,
what I'm
about
talking about?
dragons?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
about the dragon,
there's probably so many books. I'm sort of new to it, but
yeah,
my guides they right away let me know who I was because I
yeah.
questioned why I am the way I am and the way I think
Mm.
and the way like all of it. So they let me know right away. But there's probably lots of books and I think people are opening up more to dragons, but yeah, we did quite a bit of damage. Not all of us are the same, but
Yeah.
yeah, dragons don't have a good rap with lots of universes, including here.
It's so interesting. I've never really like explored the whole, dragon thing. There's just so much to learn about different,
Mhm.
souls and where they come from and all the different types of souls. Like there's fairies and like, just
Yeah.
an example of another one, different types.
Mhm.
So it's so interesting.
It's fascinating. Yeah, I found
Yeah.
a lady, her name is, well, her business is Activations with JJ, and
Mm-hmm.
she's on YouTube and all that. She speaks all the light languages. And
Mm.
she's like speaking them like fae, fairies, dragons, all of them, and it's
Wow.
fascinating. And the weird
Yeah.
thing is I've been speaking some type of light language without knowing what it was. So yeah, I
How
recommend
did you
checking her out
discover that it was a light language?
because it wasn't English or my language. It wasn't from
Yeah.
here. I'm like, okay, you're going crazy. Yeah,
Right.
it's not from here. And when I'm speaking it, I feel like my entire body is vibrating, like my cells,
Mhm.
and I don't know how to describe it.
I know I totally get you, because like
Yeah.
when I'm doing my light language activations and I'm doing my tones, I can feel my entire chest like vibrating. It's like,
Yeah.
and it's just the coolest feeling, right? Like, because I'm emitting this vibration to whoever is receiving the activation to up level their vibration to activate this thing or whatever we're doing in the moment.
Mhm.
So it's just so powerful and it's so
It
neat.
is.
And the
Yeah.
same thing too, like I didn't know I was this whole human life, I was doing my light language the whole time, because my mentor who helped me discover it was like, do you sigh a lot? And I was like, well, yeah, I do, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I just figure I'm just breathe, like it's just how I breathe or
Yeah.
relax or
Yeah.
and she's like, no, that's your part of your light language.
Oh, wow.
And it, just making like like loud sighs,
Mhm.
but it's so
Mhm.
much, it's developed into so much more than that now. And I joke with her, I'm like, my husband always is like, what's wrong, why are you sighing? I'm like, I'm just breathing over here, like like nothing's wrong.
That's so cool. That's really cool. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you said you don't know who you channel, or do you know,
Mhm.
you just channel?
I mean, I just believe that I'm an open channel for messages from source, that
Yeah.
people are needing to hear. So, for me, I use God, source, spirit interchangeably. This greater, higher power. So I'm channeling the
Mm,
higher power of the message that this person needs to hear at this
mhm.
point in time of whatever they're going through, struggling with. I channel like business ideas for people, my clients, just coming up with like all the things that maybe they can't see right now because their humanness is getting in their way.
Yeah, that's so cool. Um, do you have any messages that any any being from source wants to share with, my audience or me?
I mean, as soon as you asked that, the first thing that just came to mind was spread love. Like, honestly, like sending love is
Mm,
so powerful. I think so many of us feel helpless a lot of
mhm.
times in this world with all the negativity that's going on. And we feel like we can't do anything because what is one person going to do, right?
Mm.
But the more people that send love out to the universe, because I mean, I don't know if you believe it, but this is what I believe is we are all connected. We
Yeah.
are all connected to one source, one higher power, one God. And so when you send out this vibration of love, which is the highest frequency, right?
Mm,
Then that all these other people that you're sending it to
mhm,
feel that too, and it raises their vibration. So the
mhm.
more that we send love to the world, to people, the better our vibration and frequency of a planet will be,
Yeah.
and there will be less hate, there will be less tragedy, there will be
Mhm,
less conflict by sending more love.
mhm,
So I think that's something a lot of us don't know and don't realize. And we can also send love to ourselves,
mhm,
when we are feeling down or low or sad or lost, we can send
mhm,
loves to ourselves and it's still bringing it down from source energy. And
mhm.
then you send love for people that you have some sort of conflict with too, because that's
Yeah.
going to help you move on, that's going to help you
Mm,
forgive and let go of the anger that you might feel towards that person.
yeah.
It really is true when they say love conquers all, right? Like love heals
Mhm.
all. It really does. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
all about love. It comes back to love. Everything comes back to love.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah. It's one of the greatest forces on any universes or planet, love.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
it can never be wrong.
No, no, that's such a good point. It can
Yeah.
never be wrong ever to send love to anybody. Exactly that.
Mhm.
Um, I read a book one time. I can't recall which one it was. It might be one by Vision Lakhani. And he said there was a study how in Washington, D.C., they asked like so many people, 100, maybe 100 people to meditate every single day for a month
Mhm.
and just sending love to all the people in the city.
Mhm.
And after 30 days, they noticed how the crime rate actually decreased by
Oh,
a
wow.
significant amount after
Mhm.
that 30 days. So that is like scientific evidence, of this being how it actually
Mm.
works.
Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, and also I've heard so many NDE stories, and they always come back with one message: love,
Mhm. Mm,
that we
yeah,
are one and connected, and yeah,
yeah,
it's so cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. What are some of the works that you do with clients when it comes to mindset?
So for mindset, for my clients, when we're working on that, or pretty much any client that comes into my atmosphere, we first, really identify where they currently are at in their mindset. What limiting beliefs might you have? What paradigms may you have? These stories that you're telling yourself that maybe they didn't come from you, but from your parents or your community, that are holding you back from being this version of yourself that you're really meant to be. So we really first, identify where you're at, and then we work on releasing those limiting beliefs. So, changing them into beliefs that empower you, that lift you up, that serve you for your highest good, and work on creating this new self concept of yourself and seeing yourself in a new light. And
Mhm.
then really, allowing you to believe that
Mhm.
anything is possible, that everything that is in your imagination you can have, that you can accomplish, because it all comes from source energy. It all comes from God, and you wouldn't have these ideas in your mindset, in your mind, if they weren't meant for you, if you weren't capable of achieving them. So
Mhm.
those are kind of some of the mindset shifts that I work on. I also work on a lot with my clients, is not allowing outside factors to affect your inner peace, which
Mhm.
happens a lot, right? We allow all the things that are going on around the world and our families, our partners, our kids, to just bog us down and to affect us. But you can remain in this place of neutrality and inner peace while still being empathetic for all the things, right? All the people, all the situations, but not allowing it to alter your inner peace and your happiness and your belief in yourself. So those are like some of the big mindset shifts that I work on when I work with somebody.
Mhm. Yeah, mindset, it's such a brutal, peaceful word in so many ways, because I think so many of us struggle with that without knowing that we are, if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
it ties back to generations, because I
Hmm.
believe that our ancestors' pain and DNA and everything they've been through, we kind of carry it with us.
Yeah.
And it takes sometimes a village to break that tie, if that makes
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah. The
because it's
generational
so big.
curse.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
mhm,
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure. And
yeah,
I do believe it goes through DNA too, things that are carried on, or you
yeah.
bring things on from past lifetimes that you don't even know that you
Yeah,
have,
yeah,
that are
oh,
stored
yeah,
within your body, within your soul.
yeah. I'm laughing because I did. My gosh. Yeah, there was someone I was friend with, and we're not friends anymore. And I saw her in a past life. I get so many past life visions. I do them on my self regressions.
Hmm.
And I'm like, wow, really? Right? I don't know. It looks like I'm doing a lot of karmic clearing, very quick, very fast. And
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, I believe that, like, we all are souls, and we kind of decide before we incarnate in a lifetime what are the lessons that we're going to learn here.
Mhm.
And we help each other learn these specific lessons. So we
Yeah.
make soul contracts with each other, right? So this friend that you have, could have been a husband in a past life, or a
Mhm.
mother in a past life, or whatever. But a lot of us do incarnate with the same souls over and over again, because we
Mhm.
help each other. We've decided we're going to help each other grow and evolve as
Yeah.
a soul through
Yeah.
lifetimes. So this
Mhm.
lifetime, I'm going to come as this, and I'm going to help you learn this lesson.
Mm.
Right. And so that's kind of like what I believe, as far as why we may, certain people come in our lives, or,
Mm.
what lessons come in our lives that we need to learn.
Yeah, yeah. And I recognize her soul.
Yeah.
She didn't completely look like what she does here, and her hair was
Of
red or
course.
something. But
Yeah.
I just knew. You know how when you know, you
Oh,
can't
yeah.
explain to people how you know. Sometimes
Yes.
I'm like, I don't know how. I wish I knew, but I don't. I don't have an explanation. It drives my human mind crazy.
Right, right. Because our human mind, our ego wants to know the how for
Yeah,
everything, right?
yeah.
But it's about having faith and just believing in this, higher power and just a knowing, right? Like, okay,
Mhm.
this is how it is. And I just know, and there's nothing there is no explanation needed because it's just
Yeah,
a beat.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you do past life regressions as well, or you into those much?
I'm not, I don't do them as far as leading people down in the
Mm,
sense of that kind of like hypnotherapy or like, Akashic records. I'm definitely interested in it.
mm,
But there's only so much time and so much, hours of the day where you can learn all these new tools.
yeah.
I do something called silent counseling healing, where it is a rapid emotional release therapy. And so there are times where we find, well, basically the premise of it is finding the root cause
Mhm,
of these stored emotions that are causing something in your life that you're wanting to resolve or heal. And so
mhm,
sometimes this does come from a past life. And occasionally when we're doing the breath work that is involved in it,
mhm,
some people will get images of a past life or something they went through that is causing this thing in today's world. So that's
mhm,
kind of like the only past life things I work with. But I think it's such powerful work too.
yeah.
I've been through it multiple times where I'm like, oh well, this is what happened, and this is the wound I need to heal
Yeah.
in order to move forward in this lifetime.
Yeah, yeah, and they can be so profound and powerful.
Yeah.
Obviously, if someone's never done it, please see someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I I I don't know. I just go straight towards the storm like an eagle. I don't care. I feel like I've been there, you know. But
Hmm.
yeah, for people to get the help if they need it.
For
There's some
sure.
stuff you see in past lives, you can't unsee it. And I felt every single emotion. And I woke
Hmm.
up feeling angry or smiling or happy. I'm like, what kind of magic trickery is this? Like, what's
Oh,
going on?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it's so powerful. Like you said, it's can be so profound just what you learn from. And then
Mhm.
you finally learn the lesson because I'm sure as you know, if you don't learn the lesson in this lifetime, you're just going to repeat it again and the next time until you learn it.
Yeah, yeah. Is that what would you call that karma? Is that what they call karma?
Guess so, yeah. But karma's more for me is like what you do to other people is going to come back at you, right? Like,
Yeah.
so how you treat others is going to karmically come back to you in the next life or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what karma means to me. It's just learning your lessons that you're meant to learn, right? And
Yeah.
then that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you believe in reincarnation?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Okay,
this
how
whole
would you
talk is about
define it?
past
Yeah.
past lives. Well,
Yeah.
I it's funny because I was raised Catholic and was taught about heaven and hell and all the things like and that was it. And
Yeah.
I remember I was in my 20s and I remember I was in an airport and I was having a conversation with my mom about one of our colleagues' daughters had gotten cancer and was really sick. And
Mm,
I asked her, I'm like, why would God do this? Like, why would God do this to a parent, to a child, and make them sick like this? And she started explaining to me about how she believed in reincarnation and how these certain souls make these soul contracts and decide to help each other learn these lessons in life. And my like jaw probably dropped to the floor. I was like, what? Like this whole time you're
Yeah.
teaching me about being Catholic and now you're telling me you believe this.
Yeah.
Um and it just opened up so much of a world to me to
Mhm,
be just allowing these
mhm,
beliefs that I never really resonate with to
mhm,
disappear, to go away, to not have to
mhm,
follow it anymore, right?
mhm.
It was just life changing for me, honest to God, about learning about past lives and
Yeah.
all the things. And so I believe that like when a soul has learned the lessons that they were meant to learn, or if they just mess it up so bad that they need to start over, that's when they
Yeah.
transition on,
Yeah.
right? Like, okay, this is too far gone now. We need to just scrap over and go back. Or we've learned I've learned the lessons that I've been meant to learn here, and I've
Mhm.
helped the people that I am, fulfilling your soul contract, right? Basically,
Yeah.
then you transition on. And then I believe that there's could be a period of reflection where you're reflecting on your past life, the lessons you learned, the mistakes you
Mhm.
may have made, which I don't really believe in mistakes. They're all learning lessons, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then deciding when and if you want to go back, which, you know, could be years and years and years and centuries and whatever. But time is irrelevant, right? Time is not really a real thing. We've made that up as humans. So, yeah, that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Those were very hard concept for me to get. I'm like, no. You know,
For
just
me,
as
it
I'm
was
learning
so
more.
comforting. It was so comforting because, like, you know, for example, like when my father passed away, there was not that much as much sadness as maybe there would have been, you
Mhm,
know, and maybe not as much grief because I know that like his spirit is okay. It's
mhm,
at rest, and he's like all the things that he went through and the trauma, like not trauma, but like the suffering he went through because he wasn't well was for his learning. And for a long time, it was just so hard. Like, oh, like he had to go through this awful period of his life. And to learn that and realize that allowed me to release that grief for him, right? It wasn't my journey to learn. It wasn't my journey to hold on to, or like my grief for that suffering to hold on to. That was his. That
mhm,
was his
mhm.
choice that he made as a soul to go through this life and learn those lessons.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that. I listened to Abraham Hicks. I don't know if you've
Mhm.
heard of
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I love her.
And yeah, and she said death is a beautiful thing.
It's a transition.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know, I grew up in different religions and whatnot, heaven, hell, and all of
Yeah.
it. I got tossed around, so I picked out what worked for me. But yeah, when someone died, it's like it's a bad thing. It's a crime
Right.
that they die,
Right.
and
It's sad.
it's sad. And I'm like, wow. Like, I don't know. I've seen the other side. I've felt my mother's touch and seen her in dreams. I know she's somewhere.
It's the best when they
I
visit you, isn't
know.
it?
Yeah, yeah. And I asked for proof because I was
Mhm.
so conflicted. The first ascended my master I saw was Jesus, and then God spoke to me. I said, I don't know if you're real. I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. If you want me to believe in this path you're pushing me towards, give me proof.
Mhm.
And then I don't know, it's been a fun playground nonstop for 2 years, so
Yeah.
enjoying it. I've had
Yeah.
lots of proof. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then with faith, that's such a sticky topic, right? Because I was talking to someone and he said, I'm Christian. I said, I grew up believing in a God and a Jesus and so on. But also, I have crystals I put under my pillow, I smudge. And is that
Mhm.
Christian? I said, I don't know. What is Christian to you?
Right.
Right? So it's conflicted. So that's why I enjoy talking to people like you who are
Right.
breaking
I mean,
barriers.
what I may believe to be true may not be what's truth for you, and that's
Yeah.
okay. It
Yeah.
doesn't make me right or wrong or them right or wrong. It just
Mm,
is whatever your truth is your truth, and that's all that matters.
yeah.
And so, you know, yeah, if we're talking about Christianity, like the textbook definition of that is believing that Jesus Christ was the savior and, you know, the son of God. But
Mhm.
we're all sons of God's. We're
Yeah.
all God's children,
Mhm.
right? So, I mean, and that's my belief. So, I
Mhm.
don't really think I call myself Christian. I, you know, call myself spiritual.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, Jesus was a teacher. He was a
Yeah.
teacher and a guide and a master level evolved soul.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's what I believe to be true. And there still is very profound lessons to be learned in the Bible. Like there's a lot of
Yeah.
manifestation teachers that quote the Bible in their books,
Mhm.
many of them,
Yeah.
because it's. I mean, it says, and Abraham Hicks says this all the time:
Yeah.
"Ask and you shall receive." Like
Yeah.
it's in the Bible. It's right
Mhm.
then and there, and it, you know, it's in the Bible. Like you are here to be abundant. You are here
Mhm.
to live a beautiful and prosperous life. We don't
Yeah.
have to suffer. So it's so much it's just
Mhm.
whatever you give meaning to it. What meaning you give to it is your truth.
Yeah, yeah. And also, you know, I talk to healers and all kinds of people, and I embrace and accept everybody. I don't care where,
Mhm.
who, what, right? Um, I've talked to energy healers, right? Using their hands to heal and so on. And then when I look back in the Bible, Jesus is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, Oh my gosh, how is this evil that a God could do that? Then I can't. If God is in me, I am God, then
Exactly.
I'm
You
like,
have
I'm
become a gift
confused.
from God. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he did the same thing. Was he an alien? I don't know. I don't care to know, but I felt him in his presence. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's beautiful. Do you do
Yeah.
energy healing?
I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm on a really, really drunk roller coaster, if I may put it that way. I don't
That's
know.
okay.
I've talked to lots of people. Some say I'm a untrained medium, psychics, because
Yeah.
it's all a mess right now. I
Yeah, I
feel
mean,
I
I
could.
know you say you have a friend that, maybe asking her to actually sit down and help you develop these gifts through practicing, through,
Yeah.
when I first developed my psychic abilities, I did like 50 free sessions where I was just
Ooh,
practicing, tapping into people's energy
yeah.
and getting the messages and just learning because that's how you grow it stronger. The more you use it, the
Hmm.
more you develop it. And I did work with a mentor who taught me how to do energy healing and
Mm,
seeing what needs to be healed and feeling what needs to be healed.
yeah.
I'm also a Reiki master, right? So I did that just to understand energy more, and it's just a different form, right? Like there's all these different modalities that are out there, and it really is just taking the time to develop them and understand them so we can use them to our advantage.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's fear. And I know I'm not alone. I
Yeah.
think the human mind and ego fear what it cannot understand or feel, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I want to
Mm-hmm.
know, but I'm not, I don't know. I cannot understand the concept of spirits being everywhere, anywhere, and they can be called upon.
Mm-hmm.
Why can it happen with a physical being? If
You
someone
know,
wished for me to be in their living room, can I be there? No.
right, right. Human limitations, right? Like, and it's also about our mind, what we allow to
Yeah.
see and comprehend. And maybe that's just the way that the human body mind works because that's
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's okay to not have all the answers too. Like we don't
Yeah.
have to have all the answers on why this is this way and why this is not that way. It's all comes back to faith and
Mhm.
belief, and it's always faith over fear,
Yeah.
right? Fear is a lower vibration. It's not real. I'm reading this book called Return to Love in my study group right now by Marianne Williamson. And
Ooh.
it basically is summarizing the Course of Miracles.
Mhm.
And she says in it, like, fear is not a real emotion. Anything but
Mm.
love is false. Like it's an
Wow.
illusion.
Yes.
So fear is just an illusion. So we
Mhm.
turn back to love and we turn back to faith because
Mhm.
that's what's real.
I love that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so cool. Yeah. Can you tell me about the book that you co-authored?
Yeah. So I co-authored a book called Manifesting with Purpose, and there's three other authors I wrote it with, and we all just combined our ideas on how, almost like an introduction to manifestation, how
Mhm.
to use manifestation to your mindset. And then at the end of each chapter, there is like a chapter in practice where there's journal prompts and questions to kind of help you get going and actually apply the
Mm.
material in the book. So I wrote about positive thinking and faith. And so how to, use positive thinking to help you manifest the things that you desire and how
Mhm.
important it is. And I always say mindset first, then manifestation, right? Like whatever your mindset is what you are manifesting.
Mhm.
So for me, positive thinking changed my life, like literally changed my life, and was so profound when I first found the material of mindset manifestation. So that's
Mhm.
why it was so important for me to write about it. And then having faith in the unseen and that everything's going to work out for you and that you're divinely guided and supported. And there's chapters on gratitude, self concept, and self image, bless and releasing. I can't think of there's 10 chapters in all or 9 chapters in all.
Mhm.
So those are just a few of the topics.
Wow. Those are really good topics, by the way.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
we're really proud of it. And so it became an international best-selling
Ooh.
book within 2 days. And so we launched it in January of this year.
Oh, wow. Maybe in January this year you'll have another book too.
Maybe. I think we're all so, you know, busy with our own projects and still supporting one another.
That's
You
so
know,
cool.
writing a book does take a lot of time sometimes too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. You talk about positive thinking, which also ties to mindset that we've been talking about. But
Hmm.
let's dissect it a little bit more. Um, how can someone, build a habit of having positive thinking? Because we don't wake up that way. And throughout
No,
the day, it's like a light switch on and off. How can we
it
stay steady?
it takes practice. It really does. And and it is an effort. It's not like just you're going to be a positive thinker every day of your life because it's not normal. That's not part of the human experience.
Yeah.
Being a human, we're going to have negative thoughts. We're going to have negative emotions, but
Mhm.
it's what you do with them that matters and how long you sit in them that matters. So are you giving power to these negative thoughts, to these negative emotions?
Mhm.
Are you saying they're true? So when a negative thought or emotion comes into your mind, into your body, you can ask yourself, is this serving me for my highest good? And
Mhm.
if not, you can release it or try to change the thought, try to change the perspective. You
Mhm.
know, when something comes into your life that doesn't feel good, we give everything meaning. So we can
Mhm.
decide, yes, this doesn't feel good. I don't like this. And then all of a sudden be like, this is bad. And we start going down the spiral, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
we can maintain this level of neutrality where we're just like, okay, it is what it is. What is this here to teach me? What is this here? What is this doing for me rather than doing to me? Right? Why did this happen for me, not to me? Is always the questions we want to ask.
Mm.
And you know, some tips for getting out of a negative mindset that I can give you real quick, which I talk
Yeah.
about in the book,
Mhm.
are um, changing your perspective, of course, like looking for the positive, looking for the silver lining in any situation, being in gratitude, being grateful for what you do have, how your life is, you know, even the littlest thing like a hot shower or a cup of coffee, you
Yeah.
know, your kids, whatever it is that you need to turn to gratitude,
Mhm.
moving your body, changing the flow. And like you know, if you can't, if none of those help, where
Mhm.
you just can't get out of the negative mindset, I ask my spirit team for help.
Yeah.
You know, I say, angel spirits and guides, I recognize that these thoughts, these emotions are not serving me for my highest good. Please
Mhm.
help me release them and shift into a positive energy or a positive, vibration. And it will work. I promise you it will.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they always come through. Have you met any of your guides yet?
Yes. So I met my guides when I first developed my psychic abilities. I
Mhm.
have two guides that I talk to very regularly. And I also have an intergalactic spirit council.
Ooh.
So that I met, there's like four of them, and I'm learning their names and everything, in my light language that I have recently met. So there's just always these beautiful spirits around me and, entities around me.
That's so cool. You know what? I've only met one guide. I know I have
That's
five
okay.
main guides, but
Hmm.
I'm like, I want to meet you. Why? They're making me wait, and they know how much it's killing me. Just
Right?
waiting, just waiting. I've only seen
Hmm.
one, and I think she's a mermaid elemental. She didn't really talk to me. She just sat on a
Yeah.
rock like Ariel, the mermaid, and just
Like
smiled.
a siren.
Yeah, and just
Hmm.
smile at me. And then before I saw her, I heard whispers. "Psst, psst, psst." I'm like,
Mm.
and I asked my friend, she said they were deciding who you should see first and how they
Oh,
should
that's so
come up.
cool.
But yeah, yeah, that's really, really cool. And then you said
Yeah.
you have galactic help.
Yeah. So, being the star seed, like I'll go to my realm, my planet, my
Oh,
galaxy, whatever you want to call it, and go in there and meet with my council there to help me develop my light language, continue to learn it, continue to use it in a way to help activate my clients. And so stuff that I do behind the scenes that they don't really, see, it's what
yeah,
I do
yeah.
and it's like how I activate people.
That's so cool. I
Yeah.
hope that happens to me because I'm so into star seeds and all of it. And I've done
Hmm.
meditation, calling on helpers from there. But yeah, that's really cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been watching what is it called? Pleiades.
Mm-hmm.
They call it the Seven Sisters, this
Yep.
guitar. That's what I've been watching. But
Yeah.
uh-huh. Okay, that's very cool, very interesting. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So just embracing it, being open to it, and then it will all come, when it's the right time.
Yeah, yeah, and I've been painting star seeds.
Cool. I would
I
love to
don't
see
know.
those paintings. You'll have
Yeah.
to send them
Are
to me,
you on
pictures of them.
Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. So I'll send them to you. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Is there anything that we didn't cover that you'd like to talk about?
I don't think so. I think we talked about a lot today, like a lot of deep conversations. It was like probably one of my favorites that I've done
Awesome.
like so far. So it was so much fun. I'm so happy to be able to be here and to share just,
Yeah.
all these wonderful things.
Yeah, me too. I have two questions for you before you
Mhm.
go. The first one is, what is the meaning of life for you?
The meaning of life for me is to evolve, like to
Mm.
evolve, to grow, to learn. And if you asked me that 2 years ago, probably would have been not that at all. But really it really is to evolve and to raise the consciousness of this world, of this human world. So that's what I'm here for.
That's awesome. Last question. Where can my listeners find you, support your work, and work with you and
Yeah.
get your book?
Yep. So you can find me on, the social media platforms. My name is Elizabeth Plancon. It's spelled Plancon.
Mhm.
That's my handle on all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And then my website is just my name, elizabethplancon.com. And then our book is available on Amazon.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
Elizabeth Plancon. I love that last name.
Thank you.
That's
It's
so
actually,
cool.
if you say like the way that, it originated was Plançon, but, they don't say.
Plancon French?
Yeah. Yes, it's French, but everyone said, yeah, but we say it Planson because it has been Americanized.
Yeah, I'm sorry to tell you, no one's gonna say it right because
No, no one
my name is
does.
French.
Yeah,
Nobody says my name right unless they're full French speaking.
for sure. No, no one ever says it right. Ever, ever, ever.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's so cool though. Well,
Yeah.
Elizabeth, thank you so much for your time. I think source and guides and for making this happen because
Yes, thank
nothing
you.
happens by accident. So I thank you.
No. Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.